Hello, friends. My name's Grinch. I'm your friendly local ex-Legionnaire. I'm an American citizen here in Seattle. But I've recently returned from Ukraine, where I served for 4 months in the International Legion. I was a Legionnaire for 4 months, and at the front east of Kharkiv for 2 months, right on the Severodonetsk River. It's not the front anymore, but I'm still pretty proud of the role that my unit played in making sure the Russians couldn't advance and take Kharkiv from that direction. So, excuse me, I'm pretty proud of the role that my unit played and that I personally played in the unit. And I get asked all the time from other recruits who are planning on going over there how to prepare to go to the front and be a good soldier and be as effective as possible in serving the Legion and serving the good people of Ukraine. So therefore, I've created a number of resources for recruits. This video is going to be one of those resources. So in this video, I'm going to talk about your bag and how to live out of it for months. So I was actually in Ukraine for 6 months, well, 5.5. I was only in the Legion for 4, but I spent a month in Ukraine before that, and I spent 3 weeks in Ukraine after that, working in the Kiev Logistics Center, doing a lot of traveling, a lot of living out of hotel rooms, Airbnbs, sleeping on floors, sleeping in trains, and sleeping in mud, dirt bunkers, or just sleeping at the side of the road, sleeping rough. Sleeping on pallets, sleeping in damp, literally puddled hallways, you name it, I've slept on top of it. And I did it all with this bag. So I wanted to give recruits a couple ideas here. So first of all, I'm going to do another series on how to set up your clothing and how to set up your plate carrier. I'm in the middle of all that, but just to start, you're gonna want to buy a combat shirt here in the United States or wherever you're coming from. Trust me, you're gonna want one of these and not the blouse that they give you, because the blouse that they give you, the buttons are gonna irritate your chest and may or may not have pockets where you need them. So do yourself a favor, buy a combat shirt. You can always put a sweater on underneath it. And typically what guys do is they take their passport and their Legion printed contract, which functions as your ID card, and they put that in a shoulder pocket, put it in a plastic bag, of course, waterproof it, put it in there. And then in the other one, I suggest keeping a small Sharpie, maybe a pencil, maybe a little pad of paper. It will get damp in there, it will get kind of soggy, but I'm sure you'll find something to keep in there. The other thing to remember about Ukrainian clothes is that their pants do not have butt pockets. So no pockets on your ass. Instead, they have these handy little calf pockets. So these calf pockets are perfect for a pack of smokes and a small container of wet wipes, which you're going to need. I'm just going to say you're going to need. So pick these up beforehand if you can. You can find them at Ukrainian stores, but you may not have much time to be shopping. So I'd suggest bringing them with you. And honestly, if you get a chance, maybe get butt pockets sewn into these pants. I've heard guys do that. I thought about doing it. But when you're in the field, obviously you won't have time to do that. All right, so enough about the clothing. Let's talk bags. All right, so this bag is just a no-name, cheap Chinese bag. I bought it for $35. I did a lot of research though, and this thing was the best that I could find, unless I wanted to go up to like a $200 511 bag, which I didn't really. And I like this bag so much that I bought more of them, and I've actually bought them and given them to my friends. They're great. If I could have, when I was a platoon commander, if I could have, I would have bought about 20 of these. But good luck finding them in Ukraine. Okay, so as you can see, I have a sleeping bag on the outside, and I have a sweater on the outside. There's another item that sometimes I would put on the outside, and that's this guy right here. So this is your Spetsnaz shovel. It's not Spetsnaz at all. This is just standard Soviet era equipment, and they still issue this. All the East Europeans issue this to their military, and there's a good reason, because they work really well. This works really well. You can dig like a bleep, like a motor trucker with this thing, if you do one thing with it. There's a secret. But this works really well. It works really well for fortifications, because you're going to have a little trench like this big. So you got to get in that trench and dig like this, just kind of hunched over. You're not digging a huge big hole typically. Typically you're digging a little trench. So small tools like this work good. And the folding shovels, in my experience, those things are useless. They break. They're worthless. You want a real solid piece of engineered equipment like this. But again, there's a secret. And the secret is to grind the edges. This is dull as shiznit. Super dull. You got to grind it. I haven't done that to mine yet, but you can be sure I will. So, this was an inspectable item when I was in the Legion, at least in the beginning. After a while, nobody gave a you know what. But it's kind of awkward to carry, because obviously it doesn't fold. So I tried several things. I put it behind my sleeping bag and had it like that, but then it caught on damn near everything. Really annoying. I tried it with it facing down, and then I couldn't put my bag down. My bag ended up sitting like that, which made the straps dirty and shit. Not so good. You can imagine how dirty the bottom of my bag got after a few months of setting it on the dirt. So eventually what I ended up doing that worked okay is I put it on the bottom down there. And that, just like that. And that worked actually okay. You just got to remember that you got this thing behind you that's sticking out on either side, so you can catch that if you're going through a door, but you got a big backpack on your back anyway, so it usually worked pretty good. But yeah, of course, you want to put your name on this. You want to put your name on everything, because these will walk off. And I don't mean people stealing, I just mean it'll be, you'll set it down and somebody will have to grab one and they won't think about it unless it has your name on it. Or even if it has your name on it, they won't think about it, but you can get it back if it's got your name on it. So, really useful, life-saving piece of equipment. Absolutely life-saving. This is critical in this kind of a artillery-led war. So, okay. So, but I'm using this bag here in Seattle. I take it with me as my man purse, so I don't want to put that thing on it. And honestly, I just put this on for the video. So this bag right here, I'll talk about this stuff on the outside first. So this is the sleeping bag. So this is a summer sleeping bag, okay? Hopefully, when you guys go, you'll get winter sleeping bags. I hope to God. And those are going to be a lot thicker and heavier, and I don't know how well they'll fit on the side of your bag. Probably not as well as this one, but you can try. Anyway, every morning I would get up and I would pack my sleeping bag and put it on here and make sure that I was ready to hoist this thing and roll, because it happened a lot that you'd have to move quickly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this thing off because it's in the way. So on this side we got a nice poofy thick sweater. So I slept in this sweater many times. Even when it was hot as balls, as soon as the sun goes down it gets cold. Or you go into the basement. We'd be in a bunker, and those bunkers were so cold. So having a nice poofy sweater there, really, really handy. Came in handy a lot. All right, on the outside I got a couple patches. Patches are the currency over there. Everybody, different units, they like trading patches. So you want to keep a bunch of patches. Take extra patches with you so you can trade them. That's important. Don't trade your ILFDU patch. Don't trade that one. But and then carabiners, real handy. You want to have a couple extra carabiners. They're really useful. You can hook your, especially your helmet. So if you're marching along somewhere where you don't have to be wearing your helmet, you probably want to be able to hook it to something. If you hook it to here, it's going to sway. If you hook it to just one, but if you hook it to two, it won't sway. And then it won't be banging against you as you're walking. There's always something important to be hooked to. So, okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but I put, should have better lighting for this video. I numbered these pockets, pocket 1, pocket 2, pocket 3, and pocket 4. And I try to put the same thing in the same pocket every time, so that I'll remember where it is, and also so I can tell people, hey, can you get this out of my bag? It's in pocket number 2 or whatever. All right. So the way I try to do it is I load everything up in pocket 2, 3, and 4. These are my standard loaded pockets. Pocket 1, I try to keep this empty. This is the cargo pocket. There's lots of extra room in here. The only stuff that lives in here is stuff that I'm taking to an event, like taking somewhere that I'm temporarily transporting, like this Ukrainian flag, or big bottle of water, because I just didn't have room for it in the other pockets. But that's it. Otherwise, this is empty for me to store stuff. And I found that worked best, or for me to transport stuff. I found that worked best just because it's flat against my back, and the bag conforms to this being either empty or full better than these other pockets being empty or full. So anyway, that's that pocket. Oh, and I do have a couple like notepads and stuff in here, you know, stuff like that. It's got a nice zippered pocket for that. Okay, so that's pocket number one, main cargo pocket. Pocket number two. Oh, let me actually talk a little bit about the bag itself, actually. So like I said, it's a cheap bag, but it's worked very well. It did come, it did have a little, it sprung a leak somewhere. Oh yeah, right there. And the seam split because I had a knife in it, in the scabbard. I had a knife, and that knife poked, even the scabbard poked the stitching out. And what I did is I got me some fishing wire, or fishing line, and just nylon, and I sewed it up, and it actually worked really well. So it's a good reason to keep some fishing line on you and a needle. So I do that. And you can see the strap. It has straps down here for a sleeping bag, but I find if I put a sleeping bag down here, it hits the back of my legs, and I don't like that when I'm walking. But you know, for emergency extra carry, it's good to have. Okay, so so that's the bag. Yeah. Oh, and also, I mean, it's got somewhere in here, it's got the waist strap, but I never used that. I never used it. It's got the nice thick arm straps, and then it's got the center cinch. Yeah, here's the center cinch. So that's good enough for me. This bag, when it was fully loaded, when I had the sleeping bag on it, I just weighed it a minute ago. It was 14 pounds. So that's not too bad. I mean, you can imagine you throw some extra mags in here, and you know, some NVGs and a bunch of other shit like that. It's going to get real heavy real quick, but still, it's not too bad. Typically, I'd have a lot more food in here as well. I have a whole loadout list of typical equipment you need for typical missions, so hit me up and I can send you the link. I can post it in the YouTube comment section. So in this this pocket here is always loaded. This goes with me everywhere. This is just standard equipment here. So first thing is a ginormous sausage. That's right, baby. So this is what we call a tactical sausage. Now, you try to buy as dry of a sausage as possible because it'll last longer. And you want to keep it zip-locked, of course, or vacuum sealed. That'll last longer. And honestly, you go to the Ukrainian, you buy them in Ukraine, and they're about half. You can buy them at half this size, which is a lot more effective. This is huge. It's ridiculous. In cold weather, I think you could get away with having this open for like a week or more, which is fine. I left sausages in the hot sun in my bag for weeks on end, and then would eat them, and I never had a problem. So if I was going to actually deploy, I would take this and cut it in half, and then I'd only carry around half of this at a time. But just for now in Seattle, I get the full thing. Okay, here's the main cargo bag here. Here's a documents bag, waterproof for obvious reasons. Notepad, very important. Food and coffee, powdered coffee. We call these lickies and chewies in the Army. This is just power bars and powdered coffee. And I think that's it for this pocket. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought about doing what's called a manifest, which is a list of all the equipment in here. I thought about doing that. I've done that for some of my other bags for disaster preparedness, where I don't use the bag in like a year, and then I need to know instantly what's in there. But for this bag, I didn't think it was necessary, and then plus when you're over there getting hold of a printer to print something is really tough, so I didn't print out a manifest for it. But if I was going to go over there again, I probably would. Okay, so let's start with the easiest. So So document bag here. This has got pens and papers, notepads. I should have more stuff in it. And then when I was over there, this had a bunch of little stuff like, safety pins and more post-its and specialized dry eraser pens. Those are really important. You'll need those. I had copies of my DD-214. I had a bunch of other, paperwork in this. So make sure it's waterproof. And then this is where the majority of the weight to the bag is, and also all the goodies. So in this bag, I don't think you can really see that. I might put stuff over here. I'm experimenting with an extreme camera angle. I'm not sure it's working, but I had 2 duct tapes. Oh well, don't need that. Oh, this is the heavy duty one. That's right, yeah. So what do I got in here? I got duct tape, 550 cord, extra socks in a bag. More 550. Okay, don't need that. Big, huge power brick. I've got 3 power bricks in this bag. 3. I used to walk around with a power brick in my pocket too for 4. But yeah, to keep the really big ones buried in the bag, and then the smaller ones obviously more accessible. So this is a phone holder. It holds a phone. So a little holder thing. You can adjust it to any angle, and it folds up flat. It's real lightweight. It's really nice for if you're doing Zoom calls with the folks back home, or just with other soldiers. We did a lot of signal calls for communications and for just getting equipment, and lots of, where are you going? You're going there. Okay, let's talk about how I'm going to get there, blah, blah. So nice to have. Crap load of extra patches. Like I said, kind of important. Wet wipes. Gotta have lots of wet wipes. Very important. And then extra headphones here. I don't know about you guys, but I can't sleep when it's snoring, around real loud snoring. So I wore these pretty much every night for 6 months. Folding spoon, or it's actually a spork, plastic spork in a bag. I had sporks hidden everywhere, tactical sporks. They're very useful. So just, I won't take it out, but this is just general electronics. This is like, I had several different power plugs and 220 adapters, different power cables, some long, some short, some for iPhone, some for Android, adapters for, the old Android and the new Android. And you'll notice I put my name on pretty much everything. These will walk away when you plug your phone in at night, and then you go back to your bunk and you come back in the morning. Every once in a while, you won't know where your power plug is. So you better put your name on it. Okay, so that's about it. Just the basics, just enough to be able to survive, honestly, at the front. And so, I was going to say, so if you join the Legion, you're going to have this situation happen where you're going to get told to get in a truck. And you're going to be like, oh, I should get in the truck? Okay, where are we going? Just get in the truck. We tell you later. We need help, blah, blah, blah. You come back in an hour. Well, if you don't know who's driving that truck, if you know who's driving the truck, go and ask them. And if you trust them, then that's cool. If you don't know who's driving that truck, I suggest you take your bag with you. Because I always took my bag, and there was a couple times I was really glad I did. And even after we were told not to, or we were told, you come back in an hour or something like this. And let's just say I was real glad that I brought my bag and my sleeping bag. So that's my advice for you guys on how to pack your bag. Let me know in the comments any questions. Okay, so let's talk about the other pockets in this bag here. So we already went through pocket number 1, the cargo pocket, usually mostly empty except for water. And then pocket number 2, which has all of the sundries, all of the survival stuff that I take with me everywhere, documents, duct tape, power bricks, spare patches, all that stuff. So now we got 2 more pockets here. We've got pocket number 3, the small one, kind of an admin pocket, and then we got the big pocket 4. So pocket 3, this is obviously just stuff you want to grab at a moment's notice. This, I keep a lot of the same stuff that on my plate carrier I kept in my admin pouch on my chest. So always a power brick, and this power brick is especially nice because it's got built-in cables. So you can just plug it in and stick it in your pocket and it'll charge your phone. And then ibuprofen, very important for ruck marches, pencils, Sharpies, you know, I would keep some notepads. That's a little something from Seattle, but whatever. Yeah, so just basic sundries in here, kind of a catch-all for important stuff needed on the road. And then down here, so this is where I'd keep stuff I wouldn't need immediately, or excuse me, I wouldn't need very often, but when I would need it, I wouldn't want to go digging through my bag for it. So there are 2 things that are kind of essentials, and when you need them, you really need them quick, and you can't be digging around for them. So one thing was a first aid kit, and I know you got your IFAK on your plate carrier, but you want to have this too. And don't be thinking that your IFAK shouldn't have Band-Aids in it and Neosporin, because you're going to get a lot of cuts. And you want to be able to take care of those, or they're going to get really nasty really quick. So you want to have Neosporin and Band-Aids and a lot of extra, because your buddies are going to need them. So don't just pack the chest seals and the tourniquets and the wound packing. Pack the other stuff too. So yeah, you got to have a good medical kit, because sometimes you're not wearing your plate carrier. And then the other thing is a good headlamp. I mean a good headlamp. This is a really good headlamp. This is a bad headlamp. This one cost $24 in Poland. This one cost, I think, $25 on Amazon. And it looks a lot nicer than this one, but this one's better, and I'm going to show you why. So the first thing is this one has plastic edges here. And you're going to be wearing this thing. You're going to be wearing it for long periods of time like that. Because at the front, even if it's broad daylight, you're going to be going into bunkers, and you're going to be going into houses, and you're going to be going into a lot of places where there aren't light. We used to joke, you're in the Army, you're a Legionnaire if you turn your lights on during the daytime and turn them off at night. Because you can't let any light out of a house. The Russians will see it and they'll bomb you. So that's why I literally wore this around my neck for months at the front. You sure as hell have to sleep with it, because if you have to get up in a hurry and there's an emergency, you better have it handy. You would never do that in the trench, and you shouldn't really do it in a CP, but back in the rear at a battalion headquarters, or back in the rear with the gear, if the power goes out and you get bombed, as we did several times at night, you're going to want to have this around your neck, not lying somewhere next to your sleeping bag. So this one's not so good because it's got plastic edges, and that's uncomfortable. It's not so comfortable to wear for hours either. This one right here, it's all rubberized. It's nice and comfy. In addition, I'm going to show you another reason it's better. So they're both rechargeable, so that's fine. But this one, check it out. Red. Oops, I did it wrong. So red, and then I hold it for 2 seconds. Oops. No, I did it wrong again. Red. Oh, and then I gotta wait. That's it. Yeah, so you imagine you've had it on your head for a few seconds now, and now you turn it off. See? It's only if you press it again within 2 seconds, then it cycles through the white light. But if you turn it on, and then you wait more than 2 seconds, and then you turn it off, it just goes off. Notice that it's red first, and only red. This piece of shit, it's white. And then each time you turn it on, to turn it off, you got to cycle through each of the different forms of light. And you really don't want that. I mean, you really don't want that, but you also really don't want that. Plus, it's just really time consuming. I mean, you can put your hand over it. That's what a lot of guys do. They would literally, you'd press. Oh, the other thing is it's got these lights on the side here. So even if you press it up against your chest, like guys would do, you still see the light, right? It's terrible. I wish I hadn't brought any of these over. They were so bad. You can see the light on the side right there. It's got the main light, and then it's got the light on the side. It's got two lights on the side there. So these are damn near useless. These ones here, worth their weight in gold. I probably bought about 40 of these. And this just, you know, I'm telling this little story. This is just one piece of kit, right? Your headlamp. And by the way, I went through like 4 of these. I kept breaking them, or I give them away to guys who were on guard and I'd never see them again, you know. Take extra. Take extras, and because you're going to need to hook your battle buddies up. And you know, this is just one piece of kit. So you probably want to test all your kit before you go over there. Because you can't easily replace it, and you can't easily fix it. So you want to make sure it's pretty dialed in before you get into a combat zone. Okay, so enough about the headlamp. This very valuable headlamp. I only have the one, and I don't want to have to fly back to Europe to buy more. So enough about the bag. I think I've talked enough about that. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about my few more things about my uniform here. I already talked about the combat shirt and the pants and how they don't have butt pockets and all that. But I forgot to mention the belt. So get yourself a good belt. This is a high quality belt. It's like it's not a rigger's belt, but it might as well be. It's really strong and rigid, but it's also got a little bit of flex to it. It's what they call a gunfighter's belt, because you could use it for a ICW inside the waistband pistol holster. And it comes loose real easy, but a key thing is that it won't come loose while crawling around on my belly. And my plate carrier won't hit it and make it come loose. Because some of these new belts they got have, they're just held in place by a magnet. And if your plate carrier hits it, because your plate carrier sits right about here, you go like this, your plate carrier is going to hit it, it can knock it loose, and then all your shit on your belt falls off. So make sure to test that out. The other thing, my Leatherman here, so just take a multi-tool, for God's sake. If you value your life and the lives of the guys around you, take a multi-tool. Seriously, you're gonna need it. I guarantee you will. I will bet you $1 million you will need it. Take a multi-tool, and take an extra one for your buddy who's got the machine gun and really needs it and forgot his. So I've got this real high-speed Nomex holster sheath for my Leatherman. I mean, and my jeans, I wear a leather one that's real nice and comfortable. But here I want to be able to get it out real easy. And I wouldn't use that hand. I'd use this hand. Real easy, get it out with one hand, open it, be able to use it with one hand, be able to put it away with one hand, not worry about any flap or anything. However, if you do that, if you do have one of these Nomex holsters, make sure you put a strap on it, because it's real nice to be able to pop it on and off. But guess what? When you're crawling around in the muck, your bleeping Leatherman's gonna fall out, like mine did in training. And you don't want to have to spend 2 hours crawling around in the mud to find it, like I did. And I did find it in training. But you can be sure that same day I wrapped a cord around my belt to make sure that this wouldn't fall out in the future. So just learn from my mistake and do that. All right, I think that covers this video. If this is of help to you, leave a comment or message me and let me know. I'm planning to do a whole nother session on how to set up your plate carrier and accessories for the AK-74. If you have any other ideas for how I can take some of my wisdom from bleeding and fighting and suffering and being next to guys who died, sadly, if I can help save your life or make you more effective in fighting the orcs, then I for sure want to do it. So if there's anything that you'd want me to tell you, hit me up and I'll tell you, or I'll make a video sharing what I know. All right, hope this is useful.